An IC title match, a broken table, so much more. We fade away and classify ourselves as absolute. Get it? Let's go.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, there's been nary piano music before in my life that makes me so happy.
Oh, in fact, we should turn it up a little.
It makes me so excited.
I'm glad we're playing Christmas music.
This is better than any holiday music.
Oh, definitely.
So much better.
Yeah.
This is the piano version of Obsolete. And for my final show of 2017, I could not think of any better tune. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. It's so beautiful. It's so perfect.
To me, it sounds like a level in Castlevania, and I'm here for it.
Dare I say it's delightful. And we are delighted to have you here on the Monday Night Raw After Show on AfterBuzz TV. What's up, everybody? 2017 is almost over. This is the second to last show of the year for us, my last show of the year, so excited to be here with you. Monday Night Raw came to us from Cleveland. We come to you from Los Angeles, California. Johnny LaQuasto here at Jay Quasto. The lovely lady over to my left, you can see her every single week on Marvel Movie News, as well as so many other outlets. Follow her everywhere at Markia McCarty. She is Markia McHoliday Party.
Yes, I am on Twitter, and it even rhymes, so it's absolute perfection.
It's delightful.
It's delightful.
And not obsolete.
Never.
And another person who is far from obsolete. He is the former Hollywood Heritage Champion in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. He's wrestled the world over. He may or may not have been at Monday Night Raw last week, as well as other shows. You could follow him everywhere at True Hobo. Some may call him Robert Baines, but you can call him the Hobo.
Yeah, no, to answer the question built into your statement, yeah, I was at Raw and SmackDown.
Yes, you were.
So that's that.
Yeah.
Had a great time.
I bet you did.
Nice.
It's good to see the folks that do the Raw and the SmackDown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any fun, I don't know, observations? Any,
Yeah, because it's always good to see it live.
It's the more you are in the wrestling business, the more you can say it's just another show.
Yeah.
It's just another day at the office. They just do it a little bit bigger.
Some are bigger than others. You're absolutely right. But it's amazing no matter what high of a level you're at, stuff happens last minute, things are rushed, things are hectic, and you got to be a team and pull it all together.
We're all the same, man.
Yeah.
The more you see it, the more you realize we are all the same, and those that try to divide us are trying to sell something.
Yep, we're all a big team.
All the same. We all want the same stuff. It's crazy.
It's a beautiful thing in a way.
Yeah, it's part of the human condition.
Yes, it certainly is. So let's get cracking because we don't have a ton of time. We got to get through a 3-hour show in just about over 40 minutes. So I think we could do it.
It was a little
I think we can.
bit thicker show this time around, so I think the chance for us to fumble is there.
Okay.
But I think we can carry it across the goal line.
I don't think we're going to drop the ball.
No.
No. You know who never drops the ball or the mic or, well, anything really is Samoa Joe. He hits the ring. He calls out everyone on the Shield. He says they can't match up to him. They're all afraid of him, especially Roman Reigns. He calls out Reigns. Reigns tells the boys in the back, I got this. He hits the ring. They start fighting. Then the Bar shows up. They start beating down Roman Reigns. Then the rest of the Shield shows up. It's a big old Donnybrook. It's a numbers game. The Bar and Joe get the best of them, and not a bad way to start.
Yeah, Samoa Joe was,
he's on fire.
He was just on it. I adore him on the mic. I love that he just had that coquina clutch like locked in on Reigns while everybody else is like, yeah, you go ahead and scrabble over there. I've got what I want.
Go Scrabble.
Scrabble.
Yeah, you go Scrabble,
You go Scrabble.
Go ahead, you kid.
Yeah.
Go Scrabble,
Go
kid.
Scrabble, kid.
Make it happen.
No, Samoa Joe is probably the most believable guy when it comes to anything he says.
Oh, yeah.
You believe it 100%. And I was sort of wondering why Roman Reigns was taking so long. And you see Rollins, you see Ambrose backstage,
Yeah.
and they're kind of watching it, and nothing's really happening. And then I know why. You gotta trust your instincts. It was a trap the whole time.
Yeah, it was. He watched it all from the back, and it worked. They got the upper hand.
Yep.
And that's how we started Raw. A whole bunch of matches happening tonight. We got Cesaro versus Reigns for the IC title. We got Seth Rollins versus Sheamus. Here's the one that I found very intriguing and surprising. Kane versus Braun, where the winner gets Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. I was like, wow, we just got a #1 contenders match out of nowhere. Really? I mean, Braun, obviously. Kane, I was like, okay.
I don't know. I know a lot of people have said that they don't feel like Kane's actually up to par with Braun Strowman, but I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't.
Yeah.
Who am I to say?
Right.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it was a build-up match for Braun. I mean, I guess we're probably gonna get Braun and Brock. You know,
I don't know. I mean, the way this went off the air, really tough to say. But we're not there just yet. So.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, conventional wisdom would have made you think that's what we were going to get in the main event. But plenty more to go before that. First match of the evening, Paige and Mandy Rose with Sonya Deville at ringside, taking on Mickie James and Bayley in a tag team match. Oh, Tony nailing it. Let me holla at you, player.
Holla, holla, holla.
A lot of moments in this match, in this tag team match. But of course, Paige gets the boot to Mickie James, and Absolution gets the win. Mandy getting the pin on Mickie James. And so, you know, this threesome is definitely making more of an impact than the SmackDown threesome. We can say that. I think maybe partially because they were first, but also Paige is the ringleader, and I just, you know, I still feel like the SmackDown trio didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Let's stick to words like trio or triad.
Okay.
Let's stay away from threesome, shall we?
Yes.
Let's not do that. I'm sure it was maybe something in the back of your mind, screaming it loudly into your brain. Don't say it.
I enjoyed the mic time with this.
That was good.
Yeah, with this tripod. I'm gonna go with tripod.
Yeah.
True.
I thought it was good. Sonya, you know, she got a good reaction from the crowd too.
I mean, they're whatting her, but they're gonna what everybody.
Yeah, they're gonna wet everybody. But before the what's, it was a good reaction, and you know, it was good ring work. It worked.
I mean, she's progressed so much, and considering no more than a couple of years ago she was a fighter and had never really been in a ring, and you know, she had an opportunity and really invested herself in it, and it worked.
Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to make that transition, but obviously she had the right people around her to guide her in the right direction, that she stands out amongst her other two compatriots.
I mean, you look at the staff at the Performance Center, you can't say enough about them. You look at someone like Sonya Deville. Look at Patrick Clark, Velveteen Dream. Dude was, you know, relatively new a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And he stood toe-to-toe with Aleister Black, who's 15 years in. I mean, you look at what happens down there, a lot of great stuff's going on.
Shout out to Haywood Wong calling them the Triforce.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
I mean, that actually would be a better name than the Riot Squad, I think.
I would go for the Triforce any day, every day. Courage,
Triforce.
wisdom, power.
See? I'm down with that. So this is a pretty cool segment. They get the win, but this will be not the last we see of Absolution for the evening. Now we can spend the next half hour talking about this. Bray Wyatt and Woken Matt Hardy.
This was so good. I loved this.
You know, I was in here last week, and I just can't even express. It's funny watching that segment last week, and I think it got over 2 million views on YouTube. It was like
It was so good.
it just goes to show WWE, like, oh, people care about this character. I didn't realize how much I missed Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero and Rebby and King Maxwell and Senor Benjamin. They were the best thing about wrestling in 2016. I don't care what anybody says. It was the most original, the most creative. Yeah, granted, it was off kilter. And you know what? Wrestling is off kilter.
It should be. They
Yeah.
took chances.
They did. They had the
and that's
yeah.
what stood out. They really put it all out there. They did something that nobody has done in a long time, and created something that really it escaped wrestling itself, and it became larger than life, and no one could believe it. So here it is now again in some way or another.
As someone who's so well versed in superheroes, I know you can relate to it because it was like otherworldly. The stuff that Matt Hardy says, you know, I've danced with Cleopatra. Tonight he's like, I walked with Sister Abigail, but she succumbed to the evil dark side. It's like stuff that is otherworldly, and it just makes you step outside the wrestling comfort zone and say, you know what, I'm just going to sit back and go with it. And that's why they were the best thing last year. And oh my gosh, I've missed them so much. And I know right now we only have Matt, but I can only hope it's going to progress. And when Jeff comes back, I would love to see Rebby get involved. And of course, King Maxwell can even walk now, which is a step up from a year and a half ago.
He beat a man.
He's undefeated.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to them flying drones.
And Vanguard won.
I want them to do that. At this point, we'll be able to actually get it. So,
I
but
don't know, man.
going back to the superhero thing, yes, it's kind of like with this. It kind of reminds me of like a backyard wrestling mixed with Runaways. A little bit of Captain Chaos from South Park is like thrown in there, and it's all of this, and it's all relatable. And then it's kind of like your uncle that has one too many at any family gathering, and he's just really cool in that drunk uncle way. It's all of those things, and it is so hilarious. And matching it up with Bray Wyatt, I was so behind this. This was so well done, and I watched it a couple of times, and I couldn't help but just like laugh along with both of them while I was watching it.
It's amazing.
I recommend everybody do that. It's like,
what's great is they're spending a number of weeks just trading barbs back and forth without any kind of confrontation. It's like, there's no reason to rush it. You know, and Matt, what's great about this is now he can call back to things he used to say back when he was with TNA. You know, he calls Meek Mahan, you know, he did that via tweet. He calls out the Day of the New. He did that back then, and even Xavier Woods tweeted, I am so on board for this, because now the Day of the New, they can do things. And like, I saw a video last week, I think it was last week, Kathy was doing one of the digital clips, and she quoted a tweet from Matt Hardy, and she pronounced it Meek Man, and he quoted that and tweeted, please pronounce it correctly. It's Meek Mahan, which anyone who watched the Broken Hardys would know it's Meek Mahan. But it's just everything about it. You could tell he's got creative freedom. And as you know, when you are given creative freedom, not only does that make you motivated, it makes you excited, and the sky is the limit.
Sometimes the ideas that you have are too big for other people to truly understand.
Because only you know you.
Right, right. So when somebody gives you the ball and they go, okay, we trust you. You just go, okay, let's make this 100%.
Yeah.
We're not gonna half-ass it, and that's one thing Matt Hardy does not do with this concept, not in the least. He does not half-ass it. He is in there 100%, and he certainly was in TNA. And sort of my drawback to this is how far is WWE gonna let this go?
I think as long as it's doing well in ratings and merch, it's going to go as far as they want it to go.
The whole point was that the Hardys were producing their own stuff for TNA.
They sure were. And Jeremy Borash had a big part of it, and Borash is a very creative guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So how much of WWE is going to make sure that their fingers are on the button
well, if
of
they
this?
know what's good for them, they're going to keep their fingers out of this pie.
They generally don't.
If we learn anything from Warner Brothers in DC, anyways, go ahead.
Right.
I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah. No, it's just let the Hardys have fun.
Well,
let them play.
I look
let
at it
them
this
play
way.
and frolic in their unicorn garden, let's have the rejuvenation. Let's just have everything and more.
Because, when you have so many other things you have to cover as a company, when you can trust a certain piece of talent to be like, okay, this is going to be creative and awesome, that's one less thing on your plate you have to worry about.
Like with New Day, when, kind of let that branch out. They started coming out and, Dragon Ball Z wear. And they're like, okay, cool, we have this. And now we have popsicles. Now we have bootios. That's the thing. And it's unicorns, unicorn stampede. It's just let it happen.
They know how to sell things.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I don't know.
As far as how far it's going to go?
Right. I mean, corporations are complicated things.
Sure.
When you're producing your own stuff and it's on par with other people in the corporation, they go, well, it can't look that good, or I am obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
pun not really intended.
Yeah.
So people are very particular about protecting themselves, protecting their spots. So I don't know how collaborative this can be when it really was Matt Hardy and creating his own stuff there.
Yeah, it was Matt, Jeff, and Borash that were just the team. You know,
they were producing it.
Yeah.
Themselves. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I look on the bright side. They have an unlimited, budget, so they can film at the Hardy compound. What I'm most excited for regarding Bray and Matt, they both got compounds. You got the Hardy compound, you got the Wyatt compound. This can go real far.
Wait, does Wyatt still have a compound? Didn't it get burned down by Randy?
He still has rights to the land. It's his land.
Yeah.
The government's
So
going
he
to
can
take it
rebuild.
away.
Yeah.
Which
He can
they
rebuild
seem
on
to
his-
have the
rebuild on the
government wants to
compound.
take most everything from you, so they can
Yeah.
probably take possession of it. But it's his right to that land.
He burned down Sister Abigail's cabin, if you
We
will.
can call it a shack.
Shack, a shanty,
Yes.
No, not a shanty. That's a town.
A swamp. A swamp shack.
a swamp shack.
Yeah.
Was
So-
it a tin shack? No, wait. How's that go? With a tin roof?
Sure.
Never mind.
I think
Let's
it did have a tin
continue
roof.
on.
I think there may have been a tin roof on there. But either way, they can take this so far, and this is exactly perfect for Bray, and it's perfect for Matt because they can just go back and forth. And I just think people who weren't up on what the Broken Hardys were doing a year ago, oh my God, are they in for a treat?
It's going to be cool.
It's going to be
I'm
something
glad
else.
everybody's happy.
And you can see Matt, he's getting really creative with his dialogue. And my favorite thing in wrestling, in my experience working in wrestling over the past 7 years, is when a wrestler is given the chance to be creative and the input of their character, because that's when the best stuff happens, man. Because people know who they are. If they get a chance to really sink their teeth into something, that's when you see the great performances, because it makes you want to, when you're personally invested in something, it makes you want to take it that step further.
Yeah.
So,
But wrestling on television can be difficult for that because it
Sure.
is a very collaborative experience. And once things start to slow down for you, and if other people aren't used to writing for you, they're not going to pick it up. So there's not going to be anything for you after something has kind of petered out.
Yeah,
so
but
it can be
we're
tough.
we're at the forefront of it now. Let's not try to look at the third or fourth act when we're still in the first act. Let's enjoy the
pretty pessimistic.
escalating. Let's enjoy the escalating action,
Yeah.
and let's enjoy this climb. I mean, everybody's gonna want to get on this Hardy train. It's gonna be.
yeah. And if you haven't, if you're watching or listening and you haven't seen what they've done, I think it's still on YouTube. Look up The Great War. Look up Apocalypto. I know I'm missing another big one. They had 3 major events. Apocalypto was hilarious.
Apocalypto's the one.
All that. The Final Deletion, Apocalypto, and The Great War. Look all that up, and you're going to be so much more excited for what you're about to see. To be honest, if you haven't watched any of that, shame on you, because you've really missed some great stuff. So go back and watch it right now. Anyways, he says he's going to delete Bray Wyatt. That's how it ends. So there's that.
There you go.
And we can't wait.
Exactly.
Enzo Amore having a talk with Gabba Gulak, and he accidentally mentions Nia Jax, and Gulak thought, oh, that's because you want me to be ready for any kind of competition. And he's like, yeah. How you doing?
I don't think it was an intentionally teachable moment, but yeah, sure, be ready for anything. Why not? Be a Boy Scout. He already looks kind of like a grown-up Boy Scout. He looks like he's running for president perpetually, so sure, be ready for anything.
Yeah, it wasn't a Freudian slip to, the student council president or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yep, so that happened. Kane says he's going to defeat Braun and move on to the Royal Rumble. Nothing else there. Seth Rollins taking on Sheamus. I love this because, Sheamus had a plan. Worked the lumbar, the left knee, which obviously we all know Seth Rollins has had a lot of knee issues in his career. But Seth perseveres, had a hell of a combination leading into a Falcon Arrow, and then leading into that high knee. Is there even a name for it yet? Does he call it anything? Besides I call it the Omega.
I can't remember. It's the Omega.
I mean,
Might as well call it the canny.
the Omega knee. But what do you think of the match, Brandon? I mean, hobo.
You get hit in the head a lot, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
Very tired.
No, really back and forth. I mean, it felt to me, like, Sheamus was really trying to get that victory, really going after that knee, targeting it in such a fierce way. The standing stretch muffler just letting him hang there, and then somehow transitioning into the cloverleaf. I mean, he was really doing everything that he
Great,
could
right?
to
Yeah.
tear the leg off. I'm even surprised that he didn't get the win. I kind of don't understand how Rollins was able to withstand
'Cause
that.
That's a fair point.
Sheamus was like systematic with his devastation on Seth Rollins' body. I mean, that's
Yep.
what happened.
Not to
Like,
mention, he outweighs him by 60.
yeah, I was extremely like it
Building
got
like
it got to the
217.
point where I almost did a walkaway because I was like, oh, okay, Sheamus is gonna
Right,
win this.
right.
And I'm not like a walkaway. I don't mean a walkaway like, oh, the match wasn't good. I mean as in a walkaway like, oh, here's a shiny thing in the distance. Let me be a magpie and I have this other thing that I have to do real quick. And I almost did a walkaway, and then I look back and Rollins won. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
It
Okay.
wasn't as though he Supermaned. It wasn't like he suddenly decided that he wasn't in pain. It was a slow and systematic. This didn't work, and then this didn't work, and Sheamus, it just started to roll downhill, and eventually it just couldn't be stopped. And sometimes that's how it goes. You become so frustrated in the ring with a competitor that you cannot put away that you start to make mistakes out of exhaustion and frustration, and then but before you know it, it's over, and you're like, I swear I had him. I don't know what happened. I should have had that. It was in my fingertips, and somehow your opponent is able to turn it around on you. Like this, that knee. He nailed it.
Yes, he did.
I mean,
Yes, he did.
he got every square inch of it. And Sheamus hits hard. So if you're going to get Sheamus down, you have to hit him just as hard. And he got him square and put him away.
But on the bright side for Sheamus, still one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions. So you have Ambrose and Rollins. They keep winning all these single matches, but when it comes down to it, they're still not tag team champs. So it is making it very even between the two teams.
Right. I mean, it's interesting.
I really did enjoy with the differing matches between Cesaro, Sheamus and Cesaro is that they were more focused on submission. It was like a bit more technical work, and I actually
Loved it.
enjoyed that. I was really behind that. I mean, seeing Sheamus, pulling out the cloverleaf, pulling out that, and it's like, I guess I just got so used to brogue kicks, I forgot this man can really lock you in tight and just stretch those tendons.
Oh, Sheamus is the man. I mean,
I
he's
enjoyed seeing that tonight.
Yeah.
He's been training a lot harder than he has in a long time. They were saying that on commentary, and I've seen some of the videos, that he's training more now for endurance than power, because he outweighs a lot of his competitors without necessarily trying. So it is about endurance more than size for him. So I think it's a change in his training regimen that's leading into a change in how he's approaching his opponents in the ring. And very much Seth Rollins is going to test your wind more than your power. He easily outpowers Seth Rollins, but he's got to be able to go with a guy who's kind of hits you from all the wrong angles.
Yep.
That's Seth Rollins' game plan. He never hits you dead on. It's from every other angle. So to fight a guy like that, you need all of the wind and all of your intelligence about you.
Perfectly said. Next, Dean Ambrose talking to Renee Young backstage, and she asked him about, how he has to face Samoa Joe, and he said, I don't really have a strategy, but thanks for the pep talk. So,
Well, you can't talk about your strategy before
No.
essentially,
before it happens.
He stated
Good
very
point.
clearly the things that you don't want to have happen. You
Yes.
don't want to be choked out.
which is a good point. I mean, I wouldn't want to give away a strategy for anything.
Right. Yeah.
Now, this match was a lot of fun. So here's the deal. We had a fatal four-way in the Cruiserweight division to determine who will face Drew Gulak next week, and the winner of that match will then face Enzo Amore for the Cruiserweight title. So, obviously, a legal situation happened over this past week where Rich Swann has been suspended. Obviously, it's very unfortunate. It's not our place to speak on it. All we know is there's an arrest made, and he unfortunately is suspended. And so...
Yeah. If you want more information, it's all online.
Yeah.
So.
And so they had to shuffle some things. So the match tonight was Mustafa Ali, Tony Nese, Cedric Alexander, and Ari Daivari. And whoo, Archaea This match was some fire.
Yeah, it was. This was Mustafa Ali. He was like a little MVP.
He's
just
something
like
else.
he was just really going at it. I was like, dude,
He's something else.
He's been the embodiment of the cruiserweight division, I feel, now
Sure.
for quite a while.
Man, I was really behind what he was bringing. Like my two for it, because I always pick two out of a out of a fatal four-way. It was him and it was Alexander. So I mean, Alexander was like a beast. He
Always
was,
is, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about systematic devastation with, like I was saying, with Sheamus. It's like no, he kept on going at it every time he had a chance to. He did. So yeah, Alexander got it. He nailed it. He did all the right things. That inverted 450 was gorgeous.
It's nuts.
I was just, oh man, I need a gif of that for my Friday feeling for every Friday.
Yeah.
Because
What does
that's
it make you feel
incredible.
like? What does that mean exactly?
I don't know. It's kind of like a mixture of really hitting like a perfect combination in Persona 5, which is a Japanese video game.
I love it.
It's an RPG. It won Best RPG.
Is it like a combo breaker?
2017. Well,
Combo breaker.
well, I guess I could do it more like a Capcom, Marvel Infinite kind of thing with
But
it.
sure,
that's
yeah.
what
Words I
these
don't know.
guys make you think of, isn't it? It's like a video game. The stuff that they're
Yes.
able to pull off is really
Yes, it
kind of
is.
nuts.
Speaking of which, is TJP injured?
Oh, we
forget.
haven't seen him for a second. I forgot. Until
No,
you
he's
said that.
he's not. He's not.
Okay.
Haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, but back to the match though. I'm glad Alexander won. He definitely powered through with it. I would not have been mad if it had been Mustafa Ali though.
No, he's impossible not to love. Ali's great.
man.
He's really. I think he's been putting in a lot of time. I think he's actually. Right now, he's the heart and soul of the cruiserweight division. Not that Alexander isn't good, but I think Ali is one of the few guys I'd say has really visually impressed me and has come a long way since first debuting in the cruiserweight division. He's one of the few guys I'd say this is not the same guy who started. This guy is way better than when he got here. So I want to see him just grab that brass ring. That's what I want.
In my opinion, I believe he is the next cruiserweight champion. I don't think, regardless whether it's Gulak or Cedric, it could go either way because if Cedric wins, him and Enzo will be entertaining. But if Gulak wins, it's going to be pure comedy between the two. But
I hope that Alexander wins over Gulak, and then I hope he does take the title away from Enzo, and then they can do whatever they're going to do with Enzo getting the title back. But I feel like Enzo needs to be dethroned for like a little bit, even if it's just a day or a half a day or whatever, just to rebuild that fire back up.
sure.
Have him throw even more money at the Zoe train.
Yeah. I will say this. This is a minor thing. Cedric Alexander's music is way too anticlimactic. It just takes so long to get going. And I think part of the reason that you don't see a big reaction from the crowd is the music. Like, I really do think entrance music for live audiences make a big difference. Steve Austin, The Glass Breaks, The Rock, If You Smell, like things like that. His music starts off so quiet and slow.
Oh, you mean it needs a signature?
I think it just needs...
That's literally what that's called. The
think-
thing at the beginning of your
No, I
entrance
just think he
music is
needs new
called a
music,
signature.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not like Cesaro's music where they just put an alarm at the beginning
No,
of it.
no.
Not like that, but just like maybe cut to the chase with his music.
Because Alexander's a very exciting person in the ring, and his music is the exact opposite of that.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, I haven't been paying that close attention, but if
I have
you
not either.
say that's the truth, then I believe it to be the truth.
Just my humble opinion.
That's just fine.
So next week we got Gulak taking on Alexander. After the match, we're backstage. Gulak's talking with Enzo, and he says, I want to be the champion. I'm going to defeat you after I win next week. And Enzo's like, whoa, what are you doing? He's like, oh, it's just, friendly trash talk. And Enzo reminds him, you work for me. Yeah. I put money in the Zoe train, and your PowerPoints suck.
Well, he doesn't go that far. He
Okay.
says he has a word to describe his PowerPoints, and Drew says informative.
That's true.
To which, really, Enzo does not refute that, so they move on.
Well,
to,
Nia Jax shows up, and
all smiles. She's got a great smile.
she sure does. Something's a bro. She got the cool ponytails.
Yeah.
Those braids, they're pretty cool, man.
Box braids, I believe.
I had to get braids like that. I
You
had to
should.
get the color in them. Like, I can braid them myself, but I can't get the color stripes.
Really?
Oh, well, no,
I don't know
you
where to
just-
get them.
No, you just braid them in.
Yeah, but I don't, like, what are they made out of?
No, it's just hair.
I
It's
guess
like
I could
synthetic
do it
hair.
with,
You
like,
can
a,
go to
like a shirt
you
and
can go
just
to
tear it up.
any hair. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
use you can just anything like that.
Like
Just
tie
There's
it in.
definitely
just
people
braid it in.
who could hook you up.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it.
Oh, you
Oh,
should.
yeah.
It'd be fun. It'll work for you too.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that would really fit something that you'd be doing at some point.
If it hasn't already happened.
Yeah, I think it would totally work. So Nia Jax, all smiles, talking with Enzo. It's gonna be fun to see what direction that goes.
I think she's gonna eat his lunch. I don't know. I just see, like, she's real friendly with him now. She's gonna tear his head off like a
Oh, like beat him
praying
up?
mantis. Yeah.
I thought you meant something
No,
else.
no. That's not. Get your minds out of the gutter. How
what?
dare you? How dare you? No. Eat his lunch like a school bully.
Don't say how dare you. You're the one who started off with the Silence of the Lambs music a few weeks ago, and you're dancing going, would you watch me?
Hey.
I'd watch me.
You were right there with me, man.
I was. I'm not criticizing
not
you.
alone.
I'm just saying, don't how dare me.
Oh,
Oh no.
Just saying.
I was like 12 years old right then. Like, no, just don't. He means something else.
It wasn't just me, clearly.
And like, take his lunch money. Just say that. Take his
Yeah.
lunch money.
Take his pretzel rod. By that I mean that's not what I meant. No, in the cafeteria, you got to get every kid got a pretzel rod for
No.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Johnny.
No, it did.
No.
No, you could get a pretzel rod.
No. Stop it.
So, Cesaro and Roman Reigns. Once again, another.
yeah.
How do we transition? Woo! What a way to close out my 2K17. Yeah, great match. Fix the notes.
Yeah.
Great match. Cesaro, Roman Reigns. I mean, man, so many physical elements to this. Oh my gosh, the European uppercut. The Roman Reigns gets the backdrop. He counters the neutralizer into a backdrop, then the spear for the win. You mentioned very old school way to win, but whoa, these two.
They're such physical specimens.
Oh, yeah.
It's really crazy what they're able to do with each other, and it's just a lot of it's just brute strength.
Sure is.
I mean, Roman Reigns had his arm systematically torn apart. Those, I mean, obviously Cesaro was rubbing off on Sheamus.
The bar,
because
baby.
Sheamus was not the technical master that we really knew him to be until earlier tonight, and then Cesaro showing the same amount of prowess.
Sure.
Oh, he would not let that wrist go.
No.
That wrist belonged to him.
And it was the
Reigns,
right wrist.
Reigns stole that wrist, and he was getting it back.
Yep, it was really something to watch. It's intelligent to really work on the linchpin of a guy's offense.
And
the
I love
Superman
that.
punch.
I love it's so fun. That's my favorite thing to call too, because when someone is trying to take away, like you mentioned, a linchpin of someone's arsenal, then you can get into what they're doing and the body parts and what it can do, what can affect, and then it starts to then the story develops around that. Like it's great when people have time to do that.
Yeah, no, it's like when I was watching it, it just flashed me back to like the Mae Young Classic when it was like
yeah.
Baszler versus Kairi Sane.
Faux show.
And you know, Kairi Sane's got that diving elbow. I mean, that's her thing. And Baszler was working that elbow. You were at home and you could feel those tendons like stretch. It was like a little orchestra happening with all of that. Oh, and I was just like, I just can't. And then seeing tonight with Cesaro doing that
Yep.
with Reigns, I was like, not only is this incredibly smart, it's incredibly entertaining for me. And God, this poor man must be in such agony. And I'm kind of here for it.
We were there.
Enjoying that. Yeah. No, I think it should be an uphill battle. And again, this is one of those matches that you were like, he could really take this. Cesaro might win this thing. He could be the next Intercontinental Champion.
I mean, everyone
right now.
look, everyone knows Cesaro. I mean, well, he's already won half of the tag team champions, but Cesaro, man, he's just him and Reigns both defy physical logic in a lot of ways.
Yeah, Yeah, I'd say that.
I mean, they're both just really, they put on a hell of a match. I mean, and obviously Reigns wins. So you got Rollins, you got Reigns, both singles victories over The Bar this evening, as the tag team title match will eventually be happening. So after this, Braun has a message for Kane right into the camera. Basically, he's like, I gave you a dose of your own medicine, and now you're getting the full dose tonight, and then I'm going to get Brock Lesnar again. Braun.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pretty much it. All right.
that's it.
Asuka hits the ring, waiting for Alicia Fox. Her music hits. She's nowhere to be found, but Absolution comes back out. Paige says, why don't we take a look at what happened? And Alicia Fox has unfortunately injured her left arm. Talking to the referee. They hit the ring, and finally we get some physicality between them. They start beating up Asuka, and this is what I found pretty cool. Kamarkia, the entire women's locker room, just bolts to the ring, and they chase off all three members of Absolution.
Because they're sick
Absolution.
of it. Of
Yeah.
course they're sick of it. What? You have these this tripod that keeps on coming after them
Triforce?
one at a time. Triforce.
Yep.
Yes, let's go with Triforce. You have this Triforce that keeps on coming after them one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And here they are coming after Asuka, and Asuka's like fighting them off.
That's right.
And you know you have Asuka in the ring right there. So it's like she might be able to take all of them on. Let's just go out there. Now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way we're losing this. So let's go ahead and let's tussle.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. Although Asuka, she had him for a moment. She was able to divide and conquer, but with you, when it's 3-1, the numbers are going to catch up with you. You can't.
Yep.
You can't fight them off for the long term. Although Asuka, I think, put up the best fight of anybody thus far, and
Clearly.
they've jumped quite a few people.
Yeah, and that was before she really got riled up. That was like Asuka in phase 1.
Right.
Like we've
yeah.
only seen her like maybe ramp up to maybe phase 2.5.
I know.
You know, Asuka in phase 4 is just going to be like this incredible beast that I will love to be afraid of.
It was interesting to see the entire locker room band together. I don't know where it's going to lead, but it was kind of cool to finally see them get chased off. So, which means Absolution will have to get creative, and hopefully they do. Keep things interesting. So, speaking of interesting, Jason Jordan talking with Kurt Angle. He apologizes to his father, but then he says, I want Samoa Joe. I'm the only person who can beat Samoa Joe. And Kurt Angle finally says to him, hey, no, you've never beaten any of the other opponents. You came close. That's not winning. And he finally says, just like a good father, you'll have your match with Samoa Joe when I say so. And just like a petulant child, Jason Jordan says, okay, Dad, what should I say? Okay, Kurt.
Oh, damn.
That's some after school special type stuff right
Yeah, I
there.
was pulling out first name on Dad. I was like, ooh, all
That's
right.
that. When you do that, is
Someone's trying to put his big boy pants on.
yeah, right.
I knew this was going to get interesting.
I'm glad because I love petulant Jason Jordan. It's great.
Yeah. Notice this is really working out. He's acting like a spoiled kid.
Sure is.
It's I saw the seeds being planted, and now it's just starting to grow into something interesting. The question is Kurt going to fight him, or is Kurt eventually going to come with him?
I can't see Kurt and Jason Jordan having a match. Then again, it's wrestling. Anything's possible. I don't know, though. I can't see that happening anytime soon. And clearly it wouldn't be a WrestleMania match.
Well, never say never. It could be anything.
True.
But Jason Jordan's trying to write his own ticket and pretending like he has been doing a great job when he hasn't.
Right.
Literally, Kurt Angle said, "Holding your own is not winning."
Which is so
And
true.
it's not.
It's not winning.
So now I think we're learning important lessons, and Jason Jordan is learning a lesson, whether he wants to or not.
We're all learning here.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this this back and forth between the two of them. I enjoyed that Samoa Joe, referred to him as, well, in his opening thing, like that silly bastard Jason Jordan. He said that. So.
Boy, that's really offensive.
It was
like on a
just-
bunch of levels when you really think about it.
mean,
Well, yeah, but it was just like it's getting better. with what
Yeah.
this is, this whole Jason Jordan thing. It's getting better. It's getting there.
Jordan was on point.
Yeah. So I'm liking where this is going. I want them to continue going in this direction. This
Completely agree.
works.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe taking on Dean Ambrose, and Jason Jordan sits on the entrance ramp. We have to go pretty fast here. He just interfered a whole bunch of times. At one point, he had Ambrose in the belly to belly, about to execute the move, and Samoa Joe dives through the second rope, suicide dive action, right into both of them. Good God.
That's Samoa Joe. I hate you all. Just taking out everybody. I don't care what side you're on.
My body is a weapon.
Oh, it is.
It
He's a human battering ram.
I think this was perfect for Jason Jordan. Jason Jordan did exactly what Samoa Joe did last week, and it turned out not so great for the Boy King.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. The Boy King.
Interesting.
Nice.
I dig that.
I want them to run with that.
Boy King.
That's perfect.
And because of all the interference from Jason Jordan, it leads to Samoa Joe getting a slight opening. He locks in the coquina clutch, and bam, he defeats Ambrose just like that. But yeah, I think this is where we see Jason Jordan really settling into a character. And if that was the plan all along, I don't know if it was a plan on the fly where they realized people weren't into him, and they said, well, we got to go this route, or if that really was the plan.
This had to be the plan. It had to be.
It's working because
Yeah.
people are not liking him, and he's being even more annoying, and I think that's the way it has to go. Because
Yeah.
physically, the dude's a beast.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
he's a monster.
he's a pure athlete. I mean, that's like not even up for contention.
What's going on?
I
hell?
don't know.
One of the phones is going crazy right now.
That's weird.
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know either. Just put him on the ground.
Backstage, we got Titus Worldwide, y'all.
Oh, that's right, we do.
They're welcoming Dana Brooke into her brand new role as the Titus Worldwide statistician and head of research and development. Apollo Crews is all pumped up. Gallows and Anderson approach and say, you know, there's a word to describe those of you that are part of Titus Worldwide. And Gallows is really getting into the saying nerds.
I think
Yeah.
he's been into it.
Yeah, he's really into it, though. Right
Yeah.
now.
No, I mean,
Yeah, they're rolling the erd
they have a
when they
shirt that
when they
literally
have that.
focuses on the fact that they call people nerds.
Hey, why not?
Yeah, so if nerd is the word, sell the word.
Nerd is the word.
Nerd is the word.
And oh man, what I loved about this is the whole thing is going on, and all of a sudden you just hear, "Bah!" and Braun just parts the Red Seas just by walking. It's so Braun and so perfect.
Yeah, no, that works really well. Yeti crossing.
Yeah, right?
there. Yep.
It was just like Bigfoot.
He Sasquatched
It
it
was
for sure. I mean, we
Powering it
found
out.
Bigfoot.
He was like power walking, like those mall walkers.
Yeah.
that you see when they get really ambitious.
Yeah,
He's too
It's
big
like,
to
oh.
run. He's like an elephant. They just heel toe it. They can't actually get a good run going on.
So true. Which leads to the main event, Braun Strowman taking on that damn demon Kane. It doesn't last long. We get a double count out, and then I believe afterwards, that lasts longer than the actual match, just beating each other up. At one point, they clashed steel chairs together. Steel steps.
Steel steps.
Steel
Yeah.
stairs together,
Yeah.
not chairs. And it all ends with a double count out, then a power slam through a table from Braun Strowman. So,
They both did the Undertaker pop up.
yeah.
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 That too. So, Boxcar Superstar, where does this lead us? We're not going to get a triple threat at the Rumble.
I mean, what other options are there really?
A rematch.
I mean, yeah, okay, but even still, like, what's the difference going to be?
I just
If we do the same thing, are we going to have just the same result?
Well, let me follow up your question with a question for you. What would you rather see? Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar, or Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, and Kane in a triple threat?
I don't want to see the triple threat.
That's my answer too.
I don't. There's no point when you have Brock Lesnar. I need Brock Lesnar and one other person.
Yeah.
I want that other person to be Samoa Joe, but that doesn't look like that's gonna be happening right now.
Eventually, sure.
Eventually, and I think it'd be a really good match, and I want Samoa Joe to put him in a coquina clutch.
Ooh, I know.
really want that. Maybe for something where it's like, oh, it's not on the title, or it can be the title, and then that's how he loses it, and oh, that would be fantastic for me. But yeah, if we're gonna do a Braun and Brock, I want a Braun and Brock. I don't want a Braun, Brock, and then a Kane on the side.
Kane on the side sounds like a delicious
Yeah.
dish.
I think Braun is too big an opponent to have a singles match right now. To me,
What do you mean?
pardon me, that.
Do you mean
that-
Brock?
No, Braun.
Braun?
Braun is too big an opponent for Brock right now. That's a WrestleMania match. That's a top
Okay.
tier
That's a fair point.
match.
I see you.
Although the
I
Rumble
see
is
what you're
is
It is the
I
number
see what you're saying.
2-3 event of the year.
sure.
Granted, but I think they're going to make that weight. I think it's going to be a triple threat, and I
Okay.
think Braun Strowman is going to get incredibly close to that title, and I think Kane is going to be the one that changes the tide, and he's going to pull out all the stops and cause the loss that is going to lead to Braun and Kane
Oh Lord.
in a retirement situation. And for all the cards,
Oh.
all the money, it's
At the Rumble?
Not at the Rumble. So
Okay.
a little bit
Okay.
further down the line between, let's say, now and WrestleMania, we're going to see Kane's retirement. And I think Braun is going to be the one that's going to retire Kane, and then after that, he's going to move on to face Brock Lesnar sometime in the future.
And I think, Marquia, that's about as appropriate as it can be.
Yeah.
Braun retiring Kane.
Yeah.
Wow. I would.
Especially if Kane becomes
I
mayor.
would be behind that. You know, we had Reigns retire Undertaker. You know, so far. So far.
I-
So far. Yeah. Up there. I'm okay without changing. Whatever.
Hey.
He doesn't have to come back.
Hey.
Hey
you know,
now.
Hey. But yeah, Braun retiring Kane.
That
Wow.
would put him and Roman dead even. Each one of them retiring one of the Brothers of Destruction. They are perfect opponents. Roman and Braun are.
They really are.
So why not have them, give them 2 high-profile retirements apiece, and have them fight each other in perpetuity until, you know, the Earth explodes.
So let me ask you a question. What is your prediction then for Brock Lesnar's opponent at the Rumble?
No, it's going to be both of them. It's going to be a triple threat.
You think so?
Yeah. I think that is
Where
going
Brock
to happen.
retains without having to pin Strowman.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That would be a match that we've certainly never seen before.
That would work for our timeline that we just established.
Right.
So.
I mean, I'm just if I can make this interesting to watch, that's how I would make this interesting to watch.
Right, because if we're supposedly getting Lesnar and Roman in WrestleMania, you got to have something juicy for Braun. And I think, I don't know if they could make it a classic retirement match for a character like Kane.
Yeah, it'd be a buried alive or something like that.
Ooh.
Inferno match. Light the man on fire.
Could we have a buried alive?
When's the last time? It's been a
could
decade
we?
since
Been
a
a
Buried
while,
Alive
man.
match, right?
Oh,
Been a while since we
wow.
got buried
The last
alive.
one was Taker Kane,
Yeah.
and that's technically how Taker disappeared. Oh, damn. And Braun and Kane can pull that off.
Guess they could.
I mean, he spent 3 weeks in a dump truck.
Oh yeah, no,
Garbage
they
truck.
have written
Same
him
thing.
to be as crazy a character as the Undertaker and Kane, but without any of the really maddening backstory. Like
boy.
he's just look at him. Like you don't need a backstory. Look at him.
Yeah,
Right.
He's a modern day Jason. He just keeps on coming back.
He really is.
Pretty
And how do you
much,
get
yeah.
people excited for a Kane versus Braun match? Buried alive.
Yeah.
That's a WrestleMania attraction for sure.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I think we just booked that, guys.
You're welcome, WWE.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Anyways, by the way, thank you to the
Wait,
Incomparables.
Did we miss a match?
Did we?
Wasn't there Finn versus a Mistrage?
We did.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Finn
God, that was so short.
Finn crushed Curtis Axel in a couple of minutes, even after they
there
jumped
it
him.
is.
So
Yeah,
that
match
happened.
match
Okay.
2 of the evening.
That's-
Balor and
yep.
Axel. Yeah.
Yep, my apologies, but Finn
Yeah.
with the.
Orlando Odorego in chat room, he said, "What about Finn versus Brock?" And that made me think, didn't Finn fight tonight?
He sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, it was
Yeah,
just a
you
chance
know.
for him to stretch his legs. I mean, he really didn't
Mistrage
go.
was super fun. You know,
They were
fun.
making
They were
fun of him.
jaunty.
That
They were
was-
jaunty jesters.
There you go.
During this, so I enjoyed that with them.
I dig that.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you to the incomparable Scott Narver for the Braun Strowman Christmas sweater.
This is a sweet Christmas sweater.
There's actually, if you could notice, there's Sasquatches on the Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Of course
no, I
there
see.
is.
I
'Cause there's
see.
a monster among us.
Yeah, and I think this might be, I don't know, there's aliens. Of course, there's candy canes because
course.
Braun Strowman loves him a
It's
candy
a
cane.
Christmas sweater.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
love it. Not only is it very,
really
very
good.
comfortable. Happy birthday, Ghost8386. Your birthday's this Sunday. Have a good one, buddy. Yeah, it's just comfy. It's a good way to go out.
All right.
Wearing a Braun sweater.
Bury you in it.
Yeah. Alive.
Yes.
Well.
Right underneath the boiler room, because let's bring that back too.
Yeah.
A Boiler Room Buried Alive match. Thank you to Tony in the booth. What up, Tone?
Or
Yeah.
Steven. No.
Sorry, I was a little too slow on the draw right now.
That's okay, buddy. We're
Yeah.
saying thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks for all your hard work this year in 2017. I know we have one show left. I just want to say thank you on the show.
Oh, thank you, Donnie. I really appreciate that.
Of course, man. And it's also fun having you on DC every week.
Yeah, and
Well-
he's also Aunt Anthony for Marvel.
Heyo.
Yeah, I gotta shrink down the size to
Oh,
get the
damn.
persona for that one.
That's talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go really method acting. Yeah.
Well, I guess let's close out. Let's put ourselves over. So,
Yeah.
Marquia, go right ahead.
Well, quick shout out to Faceless J. Thanks for all the great stuff. You saying really nice stuff. Faceless J. Thanks, dude. But yeah, for me,
Thanks,
you
buddy.
can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at Markia McCarty. That's MarkiaMcCarty. Right now, I'm known as Markia Mech Holiday Party.
That's right. What up, though?
Love my holiday parties. Tune in this Friday at 1:30 p.m. twitch.tv/Skybound. It'll be our last comic book roundtable that we'll have for this year, and then we'll pick it back up in January. We bring you the weekly releases of Skybound and Image Comics. That includes Walking Dead, Birthright, Outcast, all of these really awesome comics. So, join us for that discussion, and our chat room is lit, so it's really good, lit and nerdy. And
Okay.
then for tomorrow, catch me on Marvel Movie News on Popcorn Talk. That's at 2 p.m. every Tuesday. We have 2 shows left in this year, tomorrow and then the next week, and then that's it. And we'll see you until next year. So
That's
join
right.
us for Black Panther news and all this Marvel stuff that happened, and we'll see you then.
And Mr. Boxcar Superstar, the Hobo.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TrueHobo. First things first, Wrestling Pro Wrestling is Thursday. Final show of the year. It's December to December.
I love it.
There will be singing and merriment, and it will be a fantastic show. You can watch that on Twitch TV/Wrestling
And you
Pro
should.
Wrestling.
It is so fun, entertaining. Brian Kendrick runs it. The people involved are very talented. And you talk about having creative freedom. Look no further than
For
that.
real, on like an intergalactic level.
Yeah.
Championship Wrestling from Arizona is this Saturday. Robert Baines will be appearing
Oh,
at that.
oh,
Yes.
that's exciting.
I
need to see that.
The incomparable Robert Baines. Everybody.
I cannot wait.
Well, let's see. Wednesday, NXT is on the USA Network for the first time ever. We will be covering that with an after show airing just after that. So if it's at 5, we'll be on air at 6. Please tune in for that. And for t-shirts, please go to nxteam.spreadshirt.com. 'Tis the season to give to your loved ones the gift of us.
There you go. And let's see, Jay Quasto. This is my last show of 2017. I'm going to miss you guys. I'll be back, January 8th, because we're not going to do a show on December 25th or January 1st, even though WWE is, but the studios won't be open. There will be a show next week. I will actually be out of town. Let's see. Las Vegas, I have shows the 18th to the 24th at the MGM Grand at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club if you're in Vegas. And Pennsylvania, I'm coming home. I got a show December 26th in Bethlehem, December 28th in Philly, December 29th in Easton. Otherwise, if you want to get yourselves a stocking stuffer digitally, go to quastoalbum.com. It makes a great Christmas gift. It's an hour plus of love and joy and jokes and a few cuss words.
And it's wrapped in a fun dad package.
It really is. It's so fun, Dad. And so, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We love you. I'll see you next year. They'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.